Hey guys, what's going on? It's Trey Volk here, and I decided that I made a video about Madame Bo, and I said basically she was bad, and I still believe she's bad. I'm not going to argue with people in the comments who want to cry about it. Just because Cyrax is good with her because of Ball Toss, it doesn't mean she's a good cameo. But I decided, well, let me go ahead and actually play with her until I'm going to work on like I do with all my cameo reviews. I'm going to get her up to max rank, and then I will do like a fully informed review, after enough Combat League and labbing. But I felt like in the meantime, I would do a kind of interim in progress video and talk about, where I'm kind of sitting with this character. So basically, off the top of, off the top, at least when it comes to Smoke, I accept the fact that maybe Smoke just has really bad synergy with her, but I don't think so. I think the problem is this and the drink moves are just useless. So if you're gonna play her, all you're doing is ball toss, monkey kicks, and slide. That is all you are using this cameo for, in my opinion. So I am approaching what I'm going to talk about, where we are completely ignoring this. It's useless. All the moves out of it are bad. There's no reason to ever do this, right? All of my opinions about that still stand. The drunk state moves are horrible. I really hope they buff them in the future. I don't think anything about like this or whatever needs to be buffed. After I play with her for a while, her like regular things are good. I can't stand it that the cool feature, right? The cool thing about her is what's bad. And I will make a video, like a more concise video, specifically about that, about what I would do to buff it. So, in the meantime, kind of want to talk about where I'm sitting with her, like as a cameo for Smoke so far. So, first of all, because of bottle toss, you kind of, in my opinion, like unless you're a character that has a specific kind of synergy that makes Kano better, you kind of use this over Kano, I think. You get more damage out of your conversions from this, right? You basically make Smoke kind of have auto shimmies that auto confirm themselves, right? So you can do like this, right? So like an example is like I have them block all, and I'll record a reversal, right? So I'm gonna record like a down one reversal. So like they try to mash or something because you do a lot of like, because this is a realistic thing for Smoke, is you'll do a lot of this, like stand one dash or whatever, up close. So you can kind of make this into, right, kind of an auto OSable shimmy, right? And you can do the same thing with 2-1-2. And you can see there, even if they tried to trade, because, that's one of the problems with that string with 2-1-2, is it's not you can jab out. Well, this prevents them from jabbing out. And you get quite big damage out of this, actually, if you see that. And if I actually, go all the way. So that's another thing. It prevents, they cannot punish your 2-1-2 on block. Which also means that you can safely use this to, get the +5 off EX dash and things like that. So that's another thing about it that's really good. So that is another thing. They can't interrupt your 2-1-2 without risking full combo punishment. That's pretty good. And if you don't mirror into this situation when it comes up, it's actually pretty devastating. Right, you get nearly 50% just because they wanted to mash on that. So that's pretty good. And it gives your 12 frame and your 7 frame block punishment is pretty good as a result, because you get these links. And then, you know, we'll go over it later, but obviously you're also able to continue your combo. Like, you get really good 1 bar returns off this. Let me actually do... I think you're better off actually doing this route with bow for more damage. Yeah, you are. So you also get pretty good 1 bar damage here. Okay, so your 7 and 12 frame punches are pretty good with this cameo. So that's one thing to keep in mind. That is kind of that's a little bit more nuanced complexity I like. I like it. I'm not just doing the same thing. Like with this, you know, you're just kind of doing this as like an on-the-fly hit confirm. So I like it that I have what's easy to hit confirm, but then definitively on block punish I can get better route that costs less cameo bar and does more damage, right? So, like your block punishment with this cameo is pretty good, and the ball toss is useful for, you know, maybe helping Smoke Out deal with some things like the 2-1-2 gap. So there is that. The other thing about Madame Bo so far I'm finding is you get probably the most conventionally viable invisibility setups. Actually, it took a while of labbing, but if you do the full held slide like this, so get hit confirm, you do this, you actually get what amounts to a pretty good setup there, as you can see. Like, that's a really good situation. Or that, right? You see that, you're right on top of them, you're invisible, whatever. So she's got probably the most practical guaranteed invisibility setup in the game, which is pretty good if you're in a matchup where you need to be able to do that. The other thing about this is, while it's death on block, you do have a true 50-50 to kind of rob the game from somebody. So 4-3-2, you know, is like this, and then you have this. So it is a 5 frame gap, but it forces them to fuzzy in such a way that it opens up like 4-3 into 4-3 staggers. That will open them up. So they can't fuzzy 4-3-2 and 4-3 slide without opening themselves up also to 4-3 staggered into 4-3-2. So that's also pretty good. Obviously, you can also use the full slide. This is kind of your best 1 bar setup if you're wanting to set up invisibility. Right there. See how much damage that did? So it was 45% into an invisibility mix. That's pretty good. Let me show like the weakest, right? So we'll do this off 4-1-2, for example. Right, 45% opened up again, right? So you could see where that could lead you to make some pretty powerful comebacks, right? There's something to that. The other thing about the ball toss, this particularly, it's what I'm about to show you is something the Kano knife is not as good at, even though you would think would be better, is using it to get safe jumps off practically anything. So here's the deal. So if I do, like, let's say I do this knockdown here, right? If they try to up block, they won't get a punish. It's a safe jump in. It's a plus on block jump in, actually. So I'm going to set him to up block here, right? So he'll try to up block on knockdown, right? Can't even do it. So you saw that. So he's set to up block. So he is set to. He is set to attempt to up block at the earliest possible convenience, right? The earliest possible window. See? So they can't up block you jumping in after a knockdown. That's really, really good for Smoke. So, as you can see, like they have to hold this. And you can mix them up, right? Because this, like a low jump in with Smoke, low jump in 1, or empty jump forward 3, that's like an actual unfuzzyable mix-up, right? So he gets to attempt to do that for free. Like, if you're doing this, right? So if you hit like 1114, right, get a mix-up. And as you can see, the AI can't even get the up block to come out, right? So it allows Smoke to get safe jumps. They're armor breaking off absolutely everything. Let's see, actually, Johnny might be weird because they just see how Shadow Kick is, right? So let's see what happens if we send Johnny to Shadow Kick on Wake Up. I'm curious now. Yeah, Shadow Kick is weird, but, you know, more stationary armor moves, they won't be able to wake up, essentially. So that's kind of interesting. So, the other thing about this is Monkey Flip. So, Monkey Flip is kind of interesting because this also forces invisibility on block. So, you can do this. See? Look at that. So, basically, Madame Bo kind of gives Smoke comeback potential, essentially. He's like, this is probably the cameo in the game that the most of all gives him the ability to enforce invisibility. That's basically what I would say. I think this is the best cameo if you want to use invisibility a lot. Because the things I just mentioned, right? He also has a really great down 4 cancel options off this. Like, this is really good. So is this. Like, you'll hit this a lot. Slide in of itself is an insanely broken neutral tool, I have to be honest. I didn't think it was at first, but it's actually pretty busted. Like, there are some characters that you can, like, let's say they fire a fireball. If you down back, like, so if you down back like this, you can kind of do, like, from crouch, right? From crouch, you can instantly do this launcher. Or you can do, like this, kind of quarter circle back, up from crouching, and get this to come out. So there are ducks and stuff you can do that would normally not amount to anything that can become punishes. And if you hit this from full screen, get to invisibility in, right? Invisibility in right in their face. Obviously, you can just go in from... because that's, like, the best thing you want to do, I think, when you're invisible. So, in my opinion, when you're talking about, like, what's actually the best way to make this invisibility setup work with her, is you want to find a way, in my opinion, to actually make your jump in 1 from the EX Smoke Bomb combo. This is, like, the best quick rise Smoke has, but it's not very practical is the problem. Like, there's not ways to ideally set this up to get the kind of knockdowns you want. Madame Bo gives you that. So, like, you do something like that. I'm still trying to figure out consistent ways trying to get the one I really want so I can show you. So, like, I know an easy way to set up is you can do this. Hold on. Like that, right? As you can see, you force the jump on one quick rise there. So, like, that's an example of maybe something you could try to do. But I'm trying to squeeze out as much damage out of the setup as I can. I'm still working on that. So we'll talk about that at a later date. The other thing, of course, this is another thing I really like about this cameo is, this is kind of interesting. So you can combo off throw text with this cameo. Like, trying to see if I can get it now. There's like a window here. Like, try, for example, of this. Or you could do it like this. Like, if you... This might be the one use of this, is if you have her out, you can do like this, right? So, like, if you're like here, right? And you might even be able to use her. Okay, no, you can't do it like that, but... Either way, you can kind of, like, cheat people at throw tech situations. If nothing else, if they got, like, 3% or less health left, you can kind of put them into a situation where they're, like, they just it's holding, you know, it's like an unblockable, like sometimes Sonic talks about. You can do something like that. So there are merits to this cameo. It's just, I really hate it that the drunken moves are terrible. I really want this to be better. It's the only buff that she needs. And I will make a video about that, about like what the problem with the drunken moves is and why they should be buffed. Because the problem is right now, because her unique aspects just aren't good enough, that's why everyone just uses her for bottle toss, right? It's the ambush problem, of course, but it's also that her unique thing, the thing that sets her apart, just isn't good. And you would see more variety in the play style with her, and there'd be a lot more room for player, especially if the drunken moves were usable. They're just not. They're worthless, in my opinion. So I'm going to keep working with her. I think I got her like cameo level 5 or 6 so far. But I'm going to keep grinding her, and we'll see how it goes. But let me know if any of you have ever like revisited this cameo, if you were disappointed like I was. But yeah, I'll catch you guys later. See ya.